Hey everybody, Meteorologist Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center, and we have a little storm that we're tracking right now across northwestern Connecticut. It is weakening as it works its way into the state, but First Alert Live radar looping over the last 30 minutes zoomed in here on Kent. So from Kent to Sharon and then out to Cornwall up Route 7 there. Certainly some heavy rain, could be a bit loud, but the number of lightning strikes continues to drop with each new scan of the radar, which is great. That is a sign that it's certainly weakening. Warren, you'll see rain within the next 5 minutes. Goshen within the next 10 minutes, assuming this continues to hold together as it moves east. I did want to draw your attention to that lightning bolt out near Salisbury because that's pretty far from the center of the storm, but it just goes to show that when you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck because lightning can be out very far from where the center of the storm actually is. Sometimes it originates from the anvil cloud, which is well out ahead of the main cell. And that's the only thing that we're tracking within the state's borders right now. And really the only thing within our region. Some of the thunderstorms that were ongoing northwest of us have since started to dissipate a bit. We still have a cold front that's dropping south, and it's certainly very humid out ahead of this front. There are the remnants from what was once Chantal that became a tropical storm over the weekend. We were the first to alert you to that. The approaching front interacting with that tropical moisture tomorrow is going to increase our risk for some heavy rainfall. High temperatures today, mid and upper 80s for many towns. 81 in Groton was the cool spot, but Bradley International 88, New Haven 88. We did not make it to 90, which means even if we do hit 90 at Bradley tomorrow, we will not have a heat wave. We made it yesterday. We fell short today. We will be very close tomorrow if we don't make it. Still about 75 to 80 degrees across the state right now. Believe it or not, it feels more like the low and mid 80s because dew points are so high. Dew points are in the mid 70s for many towns. This is about as high as we see them locally, and that is going to contribute for a risk for some fog. Here's our ICAM view right now in Hartford, 79 degrees. Winds out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Looks like that ramp onto 91 north there, showing a little bit of a slowdown. In the distance, we can see some of that reduced visibility already starting to pop up. Our ICAM view right now in Middletown, everything looking good. It is dry. It is quiet. We'll take you live to our ICAM here in New Haven. We're looking off to the north, 78 degrees in the Elm City. Winds out of the south at 3 miles per hour. And in the distance, again, looks like maybe just a little bit of fog. And we'll finish with our ICAM view right here in New London. The ferry loading docks are dry. So temperatures will drop as the night goes on. You'll note the fog formation starts at the shoreline around, say, 11 o'clock tonight. So within the next 90 minutes or so. And that will be an issue right through dawn tomorrow. Inland, we will also see some patchy fog develop. Could be locally dense. Low temperatures tonight, 70 to 75 degrees. It is humid outside. It stays humid all night. And here's visibility tomorrow, 5 a.m. Remember, sunrise is still in the 5 o'clock hour this time of year, so we do see the fog mix out fairly quickly thereafter. But if you're out and about near dawn, near sunrise, your first alert, some reduced visibility out there on the roadways. Tomorrow is another first alert weather day, our third one in a row. We're expecting strong storms in the afternoon along with downpours. Not only that, but it's going to be quite hot out there, feeling like it's 95 to 100 degrees. So outdoor plans will be impacted by that. Travel will be impacted by the storms, and poor drainage flooding is a possibility given the heavy nature of the rainfall. About 85 to 90 throughout Litchfield County. Into Hartford County, we're forecasting upper 80s and lower 90s. A lot of spots throughout the Connecticut River Valley and along the 91 corridor have the best chance of actually reaching 90 degrees tomorrow. Upper 80s throughout the Quiet Corner and throughout parts of, say, inland New London County, even Jewett City and Colchester coming in at 90, while Mystic and Niantic are coming in at 86. 91 in Haddam tomorrow, 92 in Durham and Wallingford, 88 in Madison, 88 in Naugatuck, 91 in Sonia, 91 in Milford, and close to 90 throughout all of Fairfield County. But this is what it's actually going to feel like out there. 95 to 100 degrees. Heat advisories are in effect for parts of the state. Today we dealt with poor air quality, and there's a chance that tomorrow we will deal with some poor air quality too. Right now, this is what the forecast is for air quality tomorrow. The orange dots that you see there along the shoreline indicating issues for sensitive groups, people with pre-existing conditions, asthma, COPD, things along that nature. So that is going to come into play a little bit. And then as far as the heat advisory goes, it's still the same counties underneath it. It's just been expanded to include, or rather extended to include the day tomorrow. So this goes until 8 p.m. tomorrow. But it's not just the heat and humidity that we're looking at. How about the severe weather threat for tomorrow, too? Level 1 risk across most of Connecticut, and First Alert Futurecast showing that the storms will start bubbling up in the early afternoon, but it's really the mid to late afternoon where we start to see an increasing risk for some of these storms. They will continue through the evening hours, and we expect even more development. So First Alert Futurecast is showing a bit of a lull. It's possible, but we're not sure how likely exactly it will be, especially since there's just so much moisture around. It will not take much to get storms going. And note the heavy rain on southwestern Connecticut in this particular run of Futurecast, almost stagnant in its motion. Wherever those almost stationary storms pop up, very slow moving storms pop up, that's where we'll run the greatest risk of some poor drainage, flooding. If storms move over the same locations enough, maybe even a small risk for some flash flooding. We will be the first to alert you if that occurs. Excessive rainfall outlook tomorrow showing a level 2 risk across the entire state. By Wednesday, we finally get a bit of a lull. We can't rule out an isolated shower out there Wednesday, but it certainly looks like the greatest risk is going to be on Tuesday and then again on Thursday. And we'll take you now to Vernon for the fireworks forecast. Those are set to go off at 9:15, so we'll be watching very closely to see how things work themselves out. Dew points will essentially hold steady in the humid range for the next couple of days, dropping off just a little bit by Friday. And you'll note Thursday, we're still near the humid range. Very muggy out there Thursday. And that's going to be with our next chance for rain. Some subtle timing differences here, which is to be expected this far out. We should get a better grasp on the timing, especially through the day tomorrow. So make sure you join Scott Haney and Jill Gilardi tomorrow. The next First Alert Weather Extra is right here tomorrow at 8 a.m. So make sure you tune back in for that. Jill will have all sorts of goodies to pass along. By noon, we see better model agreement. So what we're thinking here is that maybe the American model is a little bit later, tapering off a bit earlier, the European model a little bit later to start up. So the risk for rain lingers a bit later, but either way, we are focused on Thursday for the next chance of more wet weather. So not a bad idea to have the umbrella nearby. And temperature-wise, 90 tomorrow, 86 Wednesday, 80 on Thursday, 83 Friday, 85 Saturday. We will see temperatures dip down to seasonably cool levels on Thursday, about 75 to 80 degrees, before a subtle recovery into the weekend. Some other good news to pass along here for Saturday and Sunday specifically is that we actually have seen an improvement in the forecast trend for Saturday and Sunday. In other words, the forecast for both days is trending drier. So as we see it now, while it's still muggy, partly sunny skies both days, a greater risk for storms arriving by Monday next week. Overnight low temperatures in the 70s the next couple of days, dropping down into the mid and upper 60s thereafter, which is about what you would expect for this time of year. Along the shoreline, 88 on Tuesday, 85 Wednesday, 77 Thursday, 80 Friday, in the upper 70s both Saturday and Sunday, thanks to a bit of an onshore wind. And the reason things are looking a little bit drier on Saturday and Sunday is that high pressure is forecast to drop down over the Gulf of Maine, which, while it does mean an easterly wind direction for us, so it's not going to be quite as hot as it would normally be, it certainly will help to keep the storm risk a little bit lower. So high pressure is certainly something to look forward to, and thus a drier weekend overall. 2 days at or above 90 so far July for the Hartford area, bringing our annual count to 9. If we add a tenth of this tomorrow, we will be halfway to our average of 20, and we still have a lot of summer to go. Typically, we see a lot of 90-degree days in the month of July, and even into August and even September. So there's plenty of time there to add more days to this tally. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here. So this brings us from the 13th through the 17th. So it encompasses a large portion of next week. These shades of orange and red indicating the higher likelihood that things stay warmer than average, and perhaps staying humid too, because these shades of green indicate things will be wetter than average. And whenever we see a setup like this in the summertime, it typically means hot and humid with the risk of these pop-up storms, which is exactly what we see in our forecast outside of Tuesday and Thursday. Tomorrow, a little bit more organized with that front nearby. Wednesday, maybe an isolated pop-up. Thursday, certainly looking a bit wetter, a bit more organized. Friday is when we could see more pop-up storms. You can download the free First Alert weather app, so if there are any severe warned storms tomorrow or if there are any flash flood warnings, you will get an update based on your location. We also, again, are optimistic at this point in time about Saturday and Sunday. So that'll do it for this First Alert Weather Extra, but be sure to join us again tomorrow at 8 a.m. and right back here, same time, same place, 9:30 tomorrow evening. You can join us on the Wax at 10 on Channel 3 at 11 and join Scott Haney tomorrow morning starting at 4:30. Hope you all had a great day and have a great rest of your night.